Hello and welcome back to the Brick Den, and today I'm doing my Q&A video. Now I'm amazed at how many questions I got. I was not expecting this at all and I'm extremely grateful. Now because I got so many questions, some of the shorter, simpler ones I will just answer in the comments, but I'm going to be answering most of the questions in this video. The Brick Baron wants to know, what are your plans for upcoming MOCs besides Thunderbird S and Starkiller Base? In terms of Thunderbird S, actually, I haven't started building that yet, so that is going to be my next project. I'm just a little bit low on bricks after building Starkiller Base because it's taking up a lot of my bricks. But in terms of other plans, I am thinking about maybe building the Batcave from Batman v Superman and also Bruce Wayne's residence, but I'm not fully decided yet. The next question is from Lego Logical, who has a great channel and has recently built his own Starkiller Base, which you should definitely go and give a watch. And make sure you like and comment as well, because it's a wonderful video, and also his Starkiller Base gave me some ideas for my own. Now his actual question is, what video are you most proud of? Now I can't answer this without mentioning my Thunderbird launch sequences. I'm extremely proud of the result of these videos, although they do have some problems with them, but I am happy with the overall product. I'm also happy with my Wayne Tower MOC showcase. Now this was the first MOC showcase I did in a new style. I have made some more recent MOC showcases which I think are a little bit better, but this was the first one which I made in this new style. But my most favourite video, which I'm most proud of, is definitely my Thunderbird Hangar and Tracy House MOC showcase montage. Now you may have not been expecting that, but I think it's an extremely well made video in my opinion. It does have some problems once again that I've noticed more recently, but I think it's one of those videos which I took my time on and definitely tried to make it as good as I possibly could, and I'm extremely happy with the result. Okay, so Brian Holmes wants to know, what are your favourite Clone Wars episodes? And he mentions that his favourite is Landing at Point Rain. Now Landing at Point Rain is also one of my favourites, and it's one that I always go back to. Also from Season 2, I really enjoyed Grievous Intrigue, and that is definitely one of my favourites. It's one I always go back to. From Series 3, I really enjoy the Citadel arc, no episode in particular, but the whole arc in general, and also a strange episode, the Supply Lines. I'm not quite sure why it's one of my favourites, but I do really enjoy that episode. Now from Series 4, I really enjoy the whole Umbara arc, but specifically Darkness on Umbara. And also, I really enjoy the episode Kidnapped. Once again, similar to Supply Lines, it's a bit of a strange one, but it's one of my personal favourites and one I always revisit. Finally, from Series 5, I really enjoy The Gathering. It's maybe not the most action-orientated episode, but I still really enjoy it. And also, you can't forget the final arc of Series 5. No episode in particular, once again, similar to the Citadel arc, it's just an amazing story. Gamer Guy Joshua Plays wants to know, what is your favourite game music and YouTube channels? Well, in terms of game music, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Now in terms of my favourite YouTube channels, they're generally Lego channels. I don't really watch many other genres, to be honest. The 12th Doctor wants to know, when will you make Thunderbird 3? Now I got a lot of similar questions from other users, and I'll leave their comments on the screen. Now when will I be building any of these? Well, probably not anytime soon, unfortunately. I have answered a lot of these questions before in the comments, and the main reason is I've just got no real interest in building these other crafts, and also they're extremely big projects. So when I dedicate my time and bricks to some of these projects, I really have to be fully invested in it. Now Thunderbird 1 is my favourite Thunderbird craft, so that's why I decided to build that one, and Thunderbird 4 is quite small, and also Thunderbird S is, so they're easy to build as side projects. The Brick Baron wants to know, which YouTubers inspired you to begin this channel? Now this is quite a good question because I've been watching Lego YouTube channels for a very long time and have always wanted to start one of my own. Now some channels that inspired me, originally it was definitely The Brick Show, that was definitely the first channel that I discovered. It's also been Jang Bricks, his videos are extremely well made and of high quality. Also other channels like Down the Bricks, TMX Brick Notes, A4 Man, and also another channel called Houston Productions 1, which I discovered through The Brick Show and has always been a big inspiration to start this channel. Jacob Warren wants to know, how long have you been building for? Well, I'm not exactly sure, and it is quite a difficult question because I remember getting some sets when I was quite young, but then not really starting to get really into Lego until a little bit later. It was probably around 5 or 6 when I got my first set that really got me into Lego, so that was probably when, but of course I probably got some sets before that, Duplo as well. Sparky, the Pokemon master of Gotham City, says he has an idea for a future MOC, and he says it's the Justice League Watchtower. Now, interestingly, I've actually built this in the past, and it was before I started my YouTube channel, so I probably won't be building it again anytime soon. Now, his other question is, do you prefer DC Comics or Marvel Comics? Well, this may be a bit obvious to some people who have been watching my channel for a while, or it may not be, and that is DC Comics. I've always been a big fan of DC Comics, but that's not to say I don't also enjoy Marvel as well. But I do have majority of DC Comics in my collection, and also most of my Lego sets are also DC Comics sets. And my favourite superhero in general is definitely Batman. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this name, so I'll just leave it on the screen, but he wants to know, what superhero would you want to be, out of the Flash or Captain America? Now, this is incredibly hard, but I'd probably pick the Flash as he's got my favourite superpower, and that is super speed. He also wants to know, what made you like Lego? Now, this is a very difficult question, and I'm not really sure. I guess I just got my first set and really enjoyed building it, and then sort of saw how many sets and how much variety there was out there, and some of the great things people build, that it just inspires you to get building, really. Jakey Boy 200 wants to know, Lego Star Wars or Lego Ninjago? Well, for me, that's definitely Lego Star Wars, as I don't really have many Lego Ninjago sets. Pinder Productions wants to know, how do you fund your Lego addiction, and do you like any supercars? Well, in terms of my Lego addiction, really I only really get Lego for Christmas and birthdays, and maybe some other things on the side, so that's really how I have so many pieces and sets. And also, if I ever get any pocket money, it always usually goes to Lego. And I've been collecting Lego so long, it's just built up over the years to amount to this. And also, when I was younger, I broke up a lot of my old sets, so I don't have a lot of the older ones. You may notice most of my sets on my shelves are only from recent years. I did have some of the old sets, but I just broke them all up for pieces, so that's where a lot of my parts come from. Now, this other question, do you like any supercars? Well, yes, I don't know all the names. I'm not an expert and I won't claim to be one, but I definitely do like some of the more recent McLarens, which are some of my favourites, and also some Lamborghinis as well. King of Anything, Wonderful and Weird wants to know, will you ever start a zombie apocalypse MOC? Well, probably not, as I don't really have any interest in that genre. Box Gaming wants to know, do you prefer your Thunderbirds MOC or your Gotham City MOC? Well, this is a very difficult question. Now, Thunderbird 1 is my favourite MOC that I've ever built, so I guess that does kind of answer it. But in terms of the hangar, I definitely think I prefer Gotham over the first hangar, but the second hangar, I think the Tracy house is better than my Gotham City MOC, as it uses some more different and more complicated techniques than that MOC did. Lieutenant JM13 wants to know, if you were going to build something, where would you start? Now, this is quite a difficult question, but I always do try and plan my MOC. Sometimes I do it more thoroughly, and sometimes I just do a quick sketch. However, when I actually start building, it's quite different for each MOC, so it all depends on what you're building, really. Nexo NASCAR wants to know, what's your favourite Lego set? Now, this is a very difficult question. There's a lot of Lego sets that are of extremely high standards, but my favourites would definitely be Arkham Asylum, the Tumbler, the Parisian Restaurant, and also I really like the gunship back here as well. Now, this is another name which is extremely difficult to pronounce, so I'll just leave it on the screen once again. Now, he wants to know, have you ever considered making a Glados MOC? Now, I think he's talking about GLaDOS from Portal, but I'm not quite sure, and I've never played those games. My introduction to them was through Lego Dimensions, so that probably shows that I've got not a massive interest in that. BT Studios wants to know, what is your favourite part about making YouTube videos, and also, why did you decide to do it with Lego? Now, what is my favourite part? Well, that's probably reading all of your glorious comments and also the building as well, but that's not really part of the actual YouTube video. Now, the other part of his question, what made you do it with Lego? Well, I guess it's just because that is my main hobby and my main interest, so it would only really make sense to do it with Lego, and there's a great community on YouTube as well. Lord Nebulator wants to know, would you consider a Star Wars mini MOC series? Well, probably not. I'm not a big fan of building in the mini scale, to be honest. I much prefer the minifig scale. I've never really built anything in the mini scale. I'm not really sure why, and I don't plan on starting anytime soon. That's not to say there aren't some amazing mini scale MOCs out there, but it's just not really my sort of thing that I like to build. Firefighter Lucas wants to know, will you get the Brick Bank modular? Well, I hopefully will. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it. It might be in 1 or 2 years' time, but it does look like an extremely great set. Predator Prime wants to know, do you have any Dimensions customs in the works? Well, definitely not at the moment, and I don't have any plans to do any either. Now, LeoTube, who I did mention in my collection tour, asks a number of questions and asks if I could choose one, and I'd be very happy to do so. So the one I've chosen is, what do you do apart from Lego in your spare time? Well, I'm also very interested in filmmaking and do make some novice films from time to time. I also really enjoy drawing, and I also like to keep up with comic books as well. Darth Brick 26 wants to know, around how many minifigures do you think you have? Now, I have no clue whatsoever about this question. Once upon a time I think I actually knew, but now it just gets so out of hand because you get the freebie minifigures, you get loads of minifigures in sets, and then you just get some minifigures just appear out of nowhere. It's incredibly hard to keep a hold on how many you have. I'm guessing it's maybe around 500, maybe 600, it could even be 1,000, I have no clue. But I don't think it's that much. I think it's probably around 500, around that type of amount. Now, the final question is from Aprilman, who has a wonderful channel that I mentioned earlier in this video, and he says, do your parents collect Lego and build too? And the answer to this is unfortunately not. It's just me in this house who collect Lego. Now, the mini builder does also have some sets too, but is nowhere near as big of a fan as I am. So that's it. I thank you so much for watching this Q&A video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Now, I hope you look forward to some future videos on Starkiller Base and other MOCs too.